independent variable here is Q. And we have MC as a function. The marginal cost function is MC equal. Now the take differentiations the total cost function respect to Q is alpha. Okay. Alpha. Okay. Plus 2 beta Q. I don't find the symbol of beta. Okay. Beta Q. Okay.
Yeah.
This is a marginal cost function. Marginal cost function is alpha plus 2 beta Q. Okay. Yes. And now, question number 2. What is this firm average cost? The average cost is a very simple. We take the total cost divided by quantity. Okay. Total cost divided by Q. So the average cost is alpha alpha plus beta Q. Okay. Beta Q. That's the average cost function. Average cost function. Okay.
Yes.
Now question number 3. Does this firm have any fixed cost? In order to find the fixed cost, we set Q equal to 0, and then we find the total cost. Okay. Place Q equal to 0 in the total function cost. The total cost function, we find the FC, fixed cost. And in this function, you can see that if Q equal to 0, the total cost is 0. Okay. So the question here, the answer here is no. Okay. That means FC equal 0. That's the question number 3. And now, come on, the question number 4. What is this firm's supply function? Supply function. Now, this firm is a price-taking firm. Price-taking firm. That means the firm is a competitive firm. Okay, in the perfect competitive market, So in the perfect competitive market, any firm can influence on the market price, okay? They have to follow the market price, and the condition to maximize profit, for the price taking firm is the marginal cost equal to market price, okay? Marginal. The condition to maximize profit is marginal cost equals market price, P, okay? And here, marginal cost here, okay, equal alpha plus 2 beta Q, okay, beta Q. So we have the Q equal alpha P minus alpha, okay, P minus alpha. Divided by 2 beta, okay. Q equal P minus alpha divided by 2 beta. This the supply function of the firm. Q is the quantity of products, okay. P is the market price, okay. That is supply functions of the firm. Okay, now, come on. The question number 5. Suppose that you observe that last year the price in this market was equal to when the price was 10 and the output was 10 units. We have 10 equal, okay, P is 10 minus alpha. Okay. Divide 2 beta. Okay. From this function equation, we have the 20 beta equal 10 minus alpha. Okay, so beta equal and minus alpha divide 20, okay? Divide by 20. Okay, we have the function is here. Beta equal 10 minus alpha divided by 20. And that's last year. As now, this year, the quantity of output is 20. 20 equal the price of this year is 15.
Yes.
15 minus alpha divided by 2 beta. Okay. We have 40 beta 40 beta equal 15 minus alpha. Okay. And we replace the beta by this values into we have 40 and we have 2 10 minus alpha equal 15 minus alpha.
Alpha is equal to 5 and
Yes.
beta is equal to 0.25.
Alpha is 5. Okay.
And beta is
And
equal
alpha
to
is equal to 5. We replace here. We
0.5.
find the beta. Okay. Beta equal to 0.25. Okay.
Yes.
That's a question number 5. Now, the question number 6. Use our estimates in the question to predict what would this firm supply be if the price rise to 25. We use supply function here. Use supply function. Q equal Q equal prime market price 25 minus alpha is 5 divide
2 beta
2 0.25. So we calculate Q equal 40 units. Okay. 40 units. Okay.
Để em hỏi chút về cái margin code ấy.
Okay.
Trong cái định nghĩa của cái bài thì nó là cái số tiền tăng khi là mình tăng cái quy lên một đơn vị, thì như vậy là theo cái ví dụ của cái bài học thì em thấy nó phải lấy cái total
Khó
cost.
nghe quá. Bạn nói khó nghe quá. Nói to.
Tắt mic em gái.
Nói to lên.
Đó, cái
To lên.
margin code ấy. Thì như ở cái bài hôm trước là thầy lấy cái total cost của cái của cái tăng một đơn vị trừ đi cái total cost của cái sau ấy. Thì nếu mà cần cái bài giải thầy lấy đi phân một cái hàm total cost ấy.
Đạo hàm của total cost.
Đạo hàm.
Đúng rồi.
Nhưng mà như bài học thì mình là lấy cái total cost của một cái ví dụ đúng không? Lấy cái total cost của cái trước dưới sau đúng không? Của một cái ví dụ một trừ quy kiểu thế.
Có ở bảng này không nhỉ?
Vâng, ý em thế, ý mà như cái ấy theo nếu mà tính kiểu bảng này thì thầy phải lấy cái marginal cost tại cái quantity bằng quy, phải lấy total cost quy trừ đi total cost quy trừ.
Không, cái bảng này nó nói lên cái bản chất, cái định nghĩa. Bảng này nó nói lên cái định nghĩa của cái marginal cost nhé. Định nghĩa của marginal cost là tổng chi phí tăng lên bao nhiêu khi sản lượng tăng thêm một đơn vị. Đấy. Tổng chi phí tăng thêm bao nhiêu khi sản lượng tăng thêm một đơn vị. Đấy là định nghĩa của marginal cost. Có như nào? Đấy. Và nếu như chúng ta có số liệu như thế này, chúng ta cứ tìm marginal cost bằng cách là khi sản lượng tăng thêm một đơn vị thì tổng chi phí tăng lên bao nhiêu, cái thế ta trừ được ra thôi. Được chưa nào? Thế nhưng mà khi chúng ta có hàm ấy, khi mà chúng ta có hàm số ấy, rồi, khi chúng ta có một cái hàm tổng chi phí thì chúng ta lấy đạo hàm theo sản lượng thì nó sẽ ra được cái hàm chi phí cận biên, chi phí biên. Trên đây là người ta nói là nếu chúng ta có cái hàm chi phí sản xuất này, chúng ta có thể tìm ra cái hàm chi phí biên này bằng cách lấy đạo hàm của cái hàm tổng chi phí, đúng không? Với cái biến số là sản lượng. Đấy, đây là cái cách để tìm ra cái hàm chi phí biên khi chúng ta có hàm chi phí sản xuất. Còn khái niệm thế nào là chi phí biên thì cái bảng này là cho chúng ta biết đấy là chi phí biên là nó nói lên cái lượng tổng chi phí tăng lên khi mà chúng ta tăng thêm một đơn vị sản lượng. Thế thôi. Thấy không nào?
Dạ vâng, được ạ.
Okay. The last time we studied the factors to be used to calculate the time value of money, and we stopped at when we studied the geometric gradient series factors. Okay. What's of the geometric gradient series are very simple. For example, if you want to find the future worst, we use the single payment compound factor to calculate Okay, and if we want to find the n worst, we use the equal payment series recovery factor to calculate the n worst. Okay, this is very simple, and we have no need. And now we consider the nominal and effective interest rates. Nominal and effective interest rate. Okay, nominal interest rate and effective interest rate. That means lãi suất danh nghĩa, nominal interest rate lãi suất danh nghĩa, and effective interest rate lãi suất thực. So far we have examined the value of money, the interest, and we have developed various interest formulas to calculate the equivalent values of money. The interest rate is always stated as annual percentage rate, but many commercial loans or payments require that interest compound more frequently than once a year. For instance, the semi-year, quarterly, monthly, weekly, and daily. To consider the effect of more frequent compounding, we must understand the concepts of nominal and effective interest. Here, nominal interest rate is nominal interest rate is an interest that does not include any considerations of compounding. You have studied this, okay? The last time we have studied it.
Yes.
Nominal and effective interest rates.
Yes.
Did we study it last time?
Yes.
Okay, I got confused. Okay. Now here is computing the effective interest rate. How to compute the effective interest rate when we have given annual rates, even the rates per year. So in fact, the interest rate is often stated as annual rates of return. Okay, but interest compound is more frequently than once a year. Therefore, we have to compute the interest rate for the payment period and the compounding period. Okay, here is the formula to calculate the effective interest rate for the payment period. And here, small r is the nominal interest rate per year, and m is the number of interest periods per year. Interest and number of compounding periods per year, and c is the number of interest compounding interest per payment periods. Okay. Công thức này trông có vẻ phức tạp, nhưng mà nó như thế này. Thông thường thì người ta hay phát biểu lãi suất năm. Ví dụ như các bạn có ra ngân hàng, các bạn thấy là cái biểu lãi suất của họ là đều phát biểu lãi suất năm hết. Ví dụ như là người ta thông báo là lãi suất tiết kiệm 3 tháng, kỳ hạn tiết kiệm 3 tháng lãi suất là 6%, kỳ hạn tiết kiệm 6 tháng lãi suất là 6,5%, ví dụ như thế. Thế thì cái lãi suất nói ở đấy luôn luôn là lãi suất danh nghĩa của năm. Thế thì trong nhiều trường hợp chúng ta phải tìm ra cái lãi suất thực để chúng ta tính toán giá trị tiền tệ theo thời gian. Đấy, ý là như vậy. Thế thì ở công thức này, đây là lãi suất danh nghĩa của năm, còn cái âm m này là cái số thời đoạn ghép lãi trong một năm, số thời đoạn ghép lãi trong một năm. Đấy. Ví dụ như là ghép lãi theo tháng thì số này sẽ là 12, ghép lãi theo quý thì số này sẽ là 4. Đấy. Thế còn cái C này là số thời đoạn ghép lãi trong một thời đoạn thanh toán, tức là payment period. Thì đây là chúng ta đang tìm cái lãi suất thực của thời đoạn thanh toán. Còn đây là cái số thời đoạn ghép lãi trong thời đoạn thanh toán. Đấy. Và ví dụ như này, ví dụ như là người ta cho biết là lãi suất năm là 12%. Ví dụ lãi suất năm là 12%. Và ghép lãi theo tháng. Thế bây giờ chúng ta thanh toán thì cứ nửa năm thanh toán một lần. Đấy. Cứ nửa năm thanh toán một lần. Như vậy thì cái thời đoạn thanh toán, tức là payment period là 6 tháng, là thời đoạn, là kỳ hạn 6 tháng. Đấy. Còn cái compounding period đó là tháng. Là tháng. Vì vậy khi mà chúng ta muốn tìm cái lãi suất của thời đoạn 6 tháng ấy, lãi suất thực của thời đoạn 6 tháng, thì chúng ta lấy lãi suất danh nghĩa của năm đó là 12%, chúng ta chia cho số tháng trong năm là 12 tháng. Bởi vì là ghép lãi theo tháng mà, compounding period is monthly, cho nên là ghép lãi tháng 12 tháng. Sau đó chúng ta có cái số mũ C này, tức là số tháng trong kỳ hạn thanh toán, tức là số tháng trong kỳ hạn 6 tháng, thì số mũ này là 6. Thế thôi. Trong cái công thức là phức tạp nhưng mà chúng ta hiểu vấn đề là như vậy. Còn công thức bên này thì cũng không có vấn đề gì. Cái công thức ở bên này ấy, thì là nó thay cái M bằng K nhân với C thôi. Thì K C ở đây là C là số thời đoạn ghép lãi trong một thời đoạn thanh toán. Đó, thời đoạn ghép lãi trong một thời đoạn thanh toán. Còn K là số thời đoạn thanh toán trong một năm. Số thời đoạn thanh toán trong một năm. Thế ở cái ví dụ lúc nãy thì C là 6, K là 2, bởi vì một năm có 2 lần 6 tháng. Đó là 2. Còn C là 6 bởi một lần nửa năm nó có 6 tháng. Đấy, thì rất đơn giản như vậy thôi, không có vấn đề phức tạp đâu. Ok. Now we continue to study the project evaluation. In this part, we study the methods to evaluate the project and compare the alternatives. Okay. First of all, we have to understand the cost of capital and minimum attractive rate of return. Cost of capital and minimum attractive rate of return. Capital is also referred to as a capital funds and capital investment money. In order to raise capital, it always costs money in the forms of interest. The interest states as a percentage rate. It's called the cost of capital. Okay, the interest stated as the percentage rate is called the cost of capital. That is the cost of capital. Because we raise money, we have to pay interest. Okay. The cost of capital is also called the opportunity cost or economic cost for use of the capital. Okay. For any investment to be profitable, the investor expects to receive more money than the amounts invested. Therefore, a reasonable rate of return must be established for the selection criterion. The reasonable rate is called the minimum attractive rate of return, MARR, or minimum required interest rate. Or we can call another way that it's a minimum accepted rate of return. Okay, minimum accepted rates of return. The minimum accepted rate of return is higher than the rate expected from a bank or some safe investment that involves minimal investment risk. In other words, the minimum accepted rate of return is higher than the cost of capital. Okay, that is the cost of capital and the minimum accepted rate of return. Now, there are some methods to analyze the projects and many criteria to be used to analyze the projects. And the first we study the present what criterion or present what methods to analyze the projects. Present was. And this part we have to study the formulating alternatives and evaluations of an independent projects and present was the comparisons of equal life alternatives. Present was the comparisons of different life alternatives. Then we study the future was analysis. Capitalized cost and is another way to calculate the present was, and payback period is another criterion to be used to screen analyze. And present was a bond. Okay. Now, formulating mutually exclusive alternatives. Formulating mutually exclusive alternatives. One of the important functions of financial management and engineering is the creations of alternatives. If there are no alternatives to consider, then there is no problem to solve. Given a set of feasible alternatives, engineering economy attempts to identify the best economic approach to a given problems. Okay, we have said that there are two main problems of engineering economics. The first problem is the independent projects. We have to evaluate as a independent projects, and the second problem is the comparisons of alternatives to select the best alternative to invest. Okay, two main problems. And in this part, they said that we have to formulate the mutually exclusive alternative. And now types of economic projects. The mutually exclusive alternatives. That is phương án loại trừ nhau. Okay, phương án loại trừ nhau. From a set of feasible alternatives, we pick one and only one to excuse. The mutually exclusive alternatives compete against each other. Okay, when we have the several mutually exclusive alternatives, we only select only one. Okay, but independent projects or independent alternatives là dự án độc lập hoặc là phương án độc lập. As from a set of feasible alternatives, select as many as can be funded in the current pairs. Ok, tức là đây là hai cái dạng bài toán cơ bản. Đây là hai cái dạng bài toán cơ bản mà chúng ta phải gặp và chúng ta phải biết giải quyết. Cái dạng bài toán thứ nhất là dạng bài toán so sánh phương án loại trừ nhau, tức là khi có nhiều phương án khả thi thì chúng ta chỉ chọn một phương án thôi. Thì đấy là cái dạng bài toán so sánh phương án loại trừ nhau. Còn cái dạng bài toán thứ hai là dạng bài toán đánh giá một cái dự án hay một phương án đầu tư độc lập. Đánh giá phương án đầu tư độc lập thì người ta nói ở đây tức là khi mà chúng ta có một tập các cái phương án khả thi để mà đầu tư thì chúng ta có thể chọn tối đa số các phương án để thực hiện, miễn sao là nằm trong cái giới hạn ngân sách mà chúng ta có thể trang trải được. Đấy, chứ nó không bắt buộc phải là chọn phương án này thì phải loại phương án kia. Cái bài toán này là bài so sánh là chọn phương án này thì phải bỏ phương án kia. Còn bài toán dự án đầu tư, phương án đầu tư độc lập thì không phải loại bỏ, mà chúng ta chọn tối đa số phương án chúng ta có thể chọn, miễn sao chúng ta đảm bảo được cái khả năng trả ngân sách. Đấy, thì đấy là hai cái bài toán cơ bản mà chúng ta gặp ở trong cái kinh tế kỹ thuật. Thế còn cái thứ ba là the do nothing alternative should always be considered, tức là một cái tình huống mà cũng luôn luôn được xem đến ở đây, tức là cái tình huống là không làm gì cả. Không làm gì cả cũng là một phương án. Đấy, tôi nói ví dụ như là chúng ta không làm gì, không đầu tư gì cả, chúng ta nhét tiền vào ngân hàng thôi, để tiền vào tín dụng thôi. Đấy là ít nhất là không làm gì cả. Thì đấy cũng là một cái phương án nó luôn xem xét. Có nghĩa là chúng ta phải lấy cái do nothing này làm cái gốc cơ bản để chúng ta quyết định cái đầu tư của chúng ta. Tức là đầu tư nó phải lợi hơn không làm gì, ít nhất là phải không làm gì, đỡ lợi hơn không làm gì. Okay, now cash flow types for projects. Cash flow types for projects. There are two types cash flows for two type projects from the cash flow viewpoint. The first revenue project and second is a service project. Revenue projects and service projects. Okay. Regarding to the revenue projects, the project that generates costs and revenues over the estimated life of the project. Okay. The project that generates costs and revenues over the estimated life of the project. That means in the cash flows of this project, there are costs and revenues. There are costs and revenues. That means project that generates products and selling products to receive the money. That is a revenue. That's a revenue project. Okay. And regarding to the revenue projects, the criteria to select project is to select the objectives that maximize the economic measures of merit. Okay, that means that we make decision to invest when the project makes the maximum economic measures. Okay, economic profits. Okay. Another service projects. The project has only current and future costs over the estimated life of the project. So that means in this project, the cash flows the cash flows includes the cost only. The cash flows includes cost only. Okay, no revenue in this cash flows. No revenue in this cash flows. So, regarding to the service projects, the criteria to select the objective that is minimize the economic merits. That means that we select the objective that minimize the cost, economic cost. Okay. So we select the objective with that minimize the economic cost. Okay, and now we study the evaluations of an independent projects. Evaluations of an independent projects. We only evaluate an independent project when the project is revenue projects. Okay, we only evaluate an independent projects when it is the revenue projects. Revenue projects. We have to take step by step here. Step 1. We determine the interest rate. We determine the interest rate that a firm wish to earn on its investment. Okay, that means we have to determine the minimum accepted rates of return. Minimum accepted rates of return. That is the interest, the rates of return that we require the money. Okay. And step 2, we estimate the service life of the project. Estimate the service lives of the project. Many years. Okay. How many years? And step 3, we estimate the cash inflows. Estimate the cash inflows for each bearers over the service life. Okay. And step 4, we estimate the cash outflows for each bearers over the service life. Okay. And step 5, we determine the net cash flows for each bearers. Okay. In order to find the net cash flows for each bearers, we subtract outflows from inflows. Okay, and the last one is step 6. We solve for the net present values of the project. Solve for the net present values of the project. That is the process. The process to evaluate an independent project. It's a very activities. Okay. And here samples of cash inflow estimates. The contents of cash flows of the project depends on the features of projects. Okay. For example, the contents of cash flows of the real estate project is different from the manufacturing project. Okay, it's different. So the contents of cash flows depend on the features, which characters of the projects. And here is samples of cash inflows estimates. For example, so first we have to calculate the revenue. Okay. The revenues money we receive from the selling products. In order to find the revenue, we use the quantity of products and the market price. And operating cost reductions and asset service values and receipts of loan principal and income tax savings and receipts from stock and bond sales, construction and facility cost of savings for return of corporate capital funds, and another benefits. And here is the samples of cash outflows estimate. Includes the first cost of the process, engineering design cost, construction cost, operating cost, and periodic maintenance and review costs, loan interest and principal payments, and upgrade cost, income tax expenditure of the corporation capital funds. Okay, Now, in order to evaluate the project using the present was, we this formulas, and here is a cash flows for projects, cash flows of projects with the number of years n, 1, 2, 3, and n years. That is the service life. Okay, the service life of projects, and here is the inflows. Okay, inflows or benefits, inflows or benefits, and here's the up down arrows is the outflows or cost. Okay, cost. We denote the inflow as the BT, is with the T going from 0 to N, and we denote the outflows. It's a CT, with T going from 0 to N, and the formula to calculate the net present value here, net present value here. NPV equal sums of BT minus CT divided by 1 plus small r to the power T, with T going from 0 to N. Okay. BT minus T is the net cash flows. BT minus CT is net cash flows. Okay. And 1 divided by 1 plus r to the power n. That is single payment present was factor. Okay, single payment present was factor, and small r is minimum accepted rate separator. Minimum accepted rate separator. Okay, that is the formula to calculate the net present value. Net present value. Then how to use the net present value to evaluate the projects. And this formula is a general formula. General formula to calculate the net present values. So that means for every project, every revenue project, we also use this formula to calculate the net present values. But we have a special situation. We have a special situation here when the BT is constant. It is, for example, suppose that we have a project with n year, and the revenue of each year is equal payment series. Okay, and from year 1 to year n, we have revenue equal payment series, and we denoted is the BT equal constant. Okay, and as at the end of service life, we have the service values. That means we sell the assets of projects when we at the end of the service life we receive some money. That is a service value. Okay, and at the present time, as that means period 0, we have to invest some of money is C0. That is the first initial investment. Okay, initial investment, and from year 1 to year n, we have the cost. The cost is constant. So we have the equal payment series of cost in the city is constant. Okay, for this for these types of cash flows is special. It's special. You can find net present values by these formulas. NPV equal minus C0 plus PT minus CT times the factor. This factor is the equal payment sorry present was factor. Okay, equal payment sorry present was factor, and here is the annual values. Okay, and plus SV we convert into the 0 plus 0 by SV divided by 1 plus R to the power n. Here we use the single payment present was factor. Okay, single payment present was factor to convert the service value from n apparent n to apparent 0. Okay, so this the simpler formula to calculation net present values. Okay, it is simpler than these formulas. This formula we have to use the sum. The sum here is it's more complicated. Okay, but we only use this formula. We only use this formula when the cash flows has this type. Now, after calculation net present values of the projects, we have to answer the questions. So does the project is worth or not? Okay. So we have the rule for investment here. Rule for investment. We only invest if and the invest if and only if net present value is larger than or equal to 0. Okay. Now decide to invest in the projects. That means the project is financially viable. Project is financially viable. Okay. Now, when the NPV is equal to 0, when NPV is equal to 0, we understand that the project makes interest rates equal to the minimum accepted rate of return. Okay. If the NPV equal to 0, the project makes the interest rate equal to minimum accepted rate of return. If NPV is larger than 0, the project makes an interest rate is larger than the minimum accepted rate of return. Okay. Yeah. Even P is equal economic profit is equal to economic profit equal to 0. That means the project makes a normal profit. Okay. If the NPV is larger than economic profits, is larger than 0, exit profits, siêu lợi nhuận. Okay. If the NPV is less than 0, that means the project can make the interest rate but the interest rate is less than minimum accepted rate of return. That means the project does not meet the requirements. Okay, so we do not invest. Okay, we have a short break. Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Thầy gửi lại cho em xin cái slide.
Mình đã có cái slide nào rồi nhỉ?
Cái slide trước thì chưa có, slide này em có rồi.
Hay không đủ.
Con chưa gửi à?
Dạ, hôm trước thầy quên chưa gửi ạ, quên không nhắc thầy.
Ồ thì chết rồi.
Vâng.
Rồi, tôi sẽ gửi tiếp. The producer income at the first year is 8,000, and then the incomes decrease by 500 per year for each subsequent years. We look at the cash flows here. The income of the first year is 8,000, and then it decrease each year by 500. Okay, that means at the end of 8 years, the income is 4,500. Okay, and the service value, service values is 3,000. 3,000. Here is the service value. Okay, that is the cash flows. Okay, in this cash flows, we have the cost and the revenues. That means this line, the revenue projects, and we have to use this interest rate to calculate the net present values, NPV here. NPV equals the first cost is minus 20,000. Okay, minus 20,000. And here plus 8,000. We use this factors. This factor is uniform series present was factor. Okay, uniform series present was factor with uniform series of 8,000. Okay, uniform series present was factor to convert the uniform series to present time. Okay, and plus 3,000 divided by 0.1 plus 0.15 to the power 8. Here we convert the service values of 3,000 to the present time. Okay, present to present was. We use the single payment present was factor. Okay, 1 divided by 1 plus 0.15 to the power 8. It is the single payment present was factor. Okay, then we minus this present was up the arithmetic gradient series. Okay, arithmetic gradient series, because the incomes decrease year by year by the number, the amounts of 500. Okay, 500. So here is minus 500 divided by 0.15, and here is the single payment. Arithmetic gradient present was factor. Okay, and we have the result here. And we look at here, this NPV is a positive values. It's larger 0. Okay, it's positive value. So we conclude that the project is worth to invest. Okay, or the project is financial viable. That's example. To use the present net present values to evaluate an independent projects. Okay, now we consider the comparison problems. Present was approach mutually exclusive projects. Mutually exclusive alternatives. For the comparisons problems, the alternatives must be equal service. That is, evaluate the own alternatives over the same numbers of years. And for a single project is a financial viable if a present was larger than or equal to 0. But for 2 or more alternatives, we select one with the larger present was the values. Okay. For example, here, when we compare the 2 alternatives here, minus 1,500 and minus 500, it's a minus 500 is larger than 1,500. So it's the alternative 2 is better than alternative 1. And here we select the alternative 1 because it has larger values. Okay. And here we select the alternative 2 because it's larger than alternative 1. That's the rules for true selection. So select the projects. And now we study the present with comparisons of equal life of alternatives. For the comparisons problems, there are 2 kinds of problems. The first kind of problem is a revenue project, and the second kind of problem is a service project. Okay. For revenue projects, that means when we compare alternatives with revenue projects, the first we have to calculate the net present values. We have to calculate the net present values for each alternatives as a minimum accepted rates of return, and then we select the alternative that has net present value is larger than equal to 0, and the net present value is maximum values. Okay, that means 2 conditions. There are 2 conditions to select the alternatives. 2 conditions to select the best alternatives. The first condition is that it has a net present value is larger than or equal to 0. That means it is the financial viable project. Okay, it is a financial viable alternatives. And the second condition is it has the maximum net present value. Okay, there are 2 conditions to select the best alternatives. And regarding to the service projects, when we compare when we compare the mutually exclusive alternatives with the service projects, the first we have to calculate the present worst of cost. We calculate the present worst of cost for each alternatives at minimum accepted rates of return. And then we compare and select the alternatives that it has the present worst of cost is minimum. Okay, that means the condition to select the best alternative for the surface project is the objective has the minimum present worst of cost. Minimum present worst of cost. Thus is the problems of present worst comparisons of equal life alternatives. Equal life alternatives. Now look at these problems. Look at these problems. Perform a present worst analysis of equal surface machines with the cost shown below. So if the minimum accepted rate of return is 10% per year, revenue for all three alternatives are expected to be the same. Okay. Now we have three alternatives. The first is electric power. The second alternative is gas power, and the third alternative is solar power. Solar power, and we have the first cost for each alternative here. First cost, and annual operating cost here. Annual operating cost. And we have the service value for each alternatives and life years. The service lies 5 years. Okay, in this problems, the service lies year equals. Okay, that means that we have the present worst comparisons of equal life alternatives. Equal life alternatives. Okay. Now, in order to compare and select the best one, we use the present worst comparisons of equal life alternative with the service project. Because in these problems, the revenue for all three alternatives are the same, and the contents of cash flows only includes the cost, includes the first cost and operating cost. Okay, and we can draw the cash flows. We can draw the cash flows of cash flows for each alternatives. The cash flows includes the 5 periods. The 5 periods. Cash flows includes the 5 periods. And the first cost is the down up rows of the cash flows at the period 0 for the first alternative is 5,500, and the second alternative is 3,500, and the third alternative is 6,000. Okay, and we have the each cash flows. We have the equal payment series of annual operating cost. Equal payment series of annual operating cost. Yeah. Okay. The first alternative is 500. The second alternative is 700, and the third is 50. Okay, and at the end of 5 years for each alternatives, at the end of 5 years for each alternatives, we have the surface values here. That means we put upward arrows at the end of 5 years with the values of 200 for the first alternative, 350 for the second alternatives, and 100 for the third alternative. Okay, and the minimum acceptance rate operator is 10%. Okay, and then we calculate the present worst of cost. Calculate the present worst of cost for each alternatives. Now, first of all, we calculate the present worst of cost for the first alternatives. The PC, sorry. Now PW equal 2,500. Okay, 2,500 plus the annual operating cost is the equal payment series. We use the equal payment series present worst factor to calculate the net present worst. Okay, so that means plus 500 times
One
1
plus
plus 0.1
one
to the power 5.
5
Okay, minus 1. Minus 1. Okay, divide by 0.1 times
1 plus
1 plus 0.1 to the power 5.
yes.
Okay, and then we minus service value. Minus service value. We use a single payment price with a factor. Okay, minus 200 divided by
1 plus
1 plus 0.1 to the power 5. Okay, that is the present worst of cost for the first alternatives. And then we calculate the present worst of cost for another alternatives with the same methods. Okay, then we compare and
MPG.
select the alternative with the minimum present worst of cost. Okay,
Yeah.
I think that you can solve this problem. It's very simple. The present what reasons different life alternatives is more complicated. Okay, we will study it tomorrow morning. Okay, the next class tomorrow morning.
Yes.
Here, should we stop here? And, I'm going to send you some slides.
Yes.
Any question? Any question?
No.
Okay.
Yes.
Goodbye.
Thầy ạ.
Okay.